Scott Forbes joins me. Coach, first of all, great seeing you again, and congratulations on that ACC championship. I mean, your team played lights out. Really great baseball.
Yeah, thanks a ton. Obviously, they did. Our players brought it. They played well. Our fans were unbelievable. They packed that place, and congratulations to you as well.
Well, listen, this is not about me. This is about North Carolina baseball and what you guys are rocking and rolling with. Again, you beat up on my alma mater by 14-4 on that Sunday. But, man, I just love good baseball. And the way your team pitches, you're always going to be in games. But, man, when your guys are hitting lights out, this team can do some serious damage moving forward.
Yeah, it's a really fun group, too. It's one of those groups where this time of year, you just got to stay out of their way. You got to, remind them how important practice is and practice the fundamentals and all those little things. But this is a very well-led team. They're so much fun to be around. We're getting ready to go have a team dinner tonight and watch a team movie, and I'm just trying to dive into it with them. And because in all reality, this team won't be the same next year. So I'm just enjoying every second of it.
Yeah, we were just laughing during the break about how different the college landscape is. Oh, by the way, what's the team movie tonight?
Hacksaw Ridge is what they picked.
Hacksaw Ridge, wow.
Yeah,
I'm glad you didn't pick.
They wanted a military movie.
I get that. Listen, I'm glad you didn't pick like Mission Impossible. You're like, no, forget that nonsense. It is possible. The mission is to get to Omaha and close the deal, for crying out loud.
No doubt.
By the way, 8 straight years of making the postseason. It's hard to get there. It's another thing to stay there. Well, what has been the key to success for you and the North Carolina baseball program?
Well, obviously that started with Coach Fox.
Yeah.
So you got to give credit where credit's due. And I played for Coach Fox and worked for him so much. So I played for the best and worked for the best. The culture and our standards, I feel like that's so important for sustained success. We have unbelievable support from our administration. You have to have that or you won't be able to continue to be successful, especially in this crazy new landscape. And our player retention has been good, even during this NIL time. I would say the biggest part is the culture of what goes on underneath the stadium and all the support that these guys have to make them better.
I just got done talking to Danny Hall, and they're on the bus heading down to Oxford. In fact, he was talking to us from nowhere, Alabama, which is anything outside of Birmingham. And you could still sense a little steam that, hey, they win the ACC regular season, should be hosting, and they're not. You knew you were going to be in. You're always looking for an edge when it gets to this point. But were you surprised at the number 5 national seed? Because I got to be honest with you, I thought you could make the case for being the number 1 seed.
We talk about it all the time, like Nick Saban says, there's different types of rat poison, so we'll look at that as yummy rat poison. Our guys, obviously, I saw the look on their face. I think they felt the same as you. But that's the good thing about this group. They play with that edge. They play with something to prove. So it really doesn't bother me. But at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters. What matters is practice today and then being ready to play our first opponent in Holy Cross Friday at noon.
Coach, I didn't know there were different levels of rat poison. I just thought poison was poison, but you're telling me there's like top shelf, medium shelf, and bottom shelf of rat poison? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Nick Saban said it best. There's just rat poison that's really bad for you, or there's some yummy rat poison, as he says. So sometimes you can get that yummy rat poison, and you can use it as motivation if you use it the right way.
Well, I know this much. With the pitching staff that you've got, you could be chugging that rat poison. You still got a shot because, man, I'll tell you what, you got some arms on this team. But what you mentioned Holy Cross at noon. We'll get that game here on the ACC Network. What do we know about Holy Cross?
They're good. We talked about them today. We practiced for them today. We only focus on them. I reminded our team, it's all about us preparing today to be our best against Holy Cross. They steal a ton of bases. They have a really good number 1 pitcher. And they're here for a reason. We learned that last year. Everybody expects you just to walk through that first game. We had to come back in the 9th against Long Island. So our guys expect it to be hard. We have a lot of guys that played in those games last year. So I expect them to be really, really good. We're going to have to play extremely well to beat them.
I did see, again, I try to read up on some of these teams. I have no idea. I talked to Link Jarrett yesterday, and we're talking about Northeastern. They'd won 27 in a row. I couldn't spot them out of a police lineup, but I know they're playing really well. Holy Cross, I read they got three guys have stolen at least 20 bases. So again, when they get on base, they're going to try to put pressure on you. I understand that part, right?
Yeah, 100%. And, I told our team that's the great thing about the ACC. You play teams like Louisville, BC. We're one of those teams that run a lot. So you have to learn to defend it, and it's on us to defend it. So we're prepared for it. Our pitchers are prepared for it. Defensively, we know what they do. So I look at it more that it's how we play, not so much of who they are.
Yeah, gotcha. You've been talking about defending. One thing you guys have been able to do is defend at home. 36-9 at home in the regional play. That's impressive. I don't care what level we're talking about. That's top shelf rat poison I'm throwing on you right now. But 36-9 is getting the job done, and pretty cool what you guys are doing for the student body. That say, guess what? You want to watch some good baseball and have a great time? We're going to take care of it. I saw your PSA on that. That was neat.
Yeah, you know what? We need a home field advantage, and we saw that last year tremendously when LSU came in here. Our fans showed up, and then that carried over into the Super Regional against West Virginia. And you need your fans. You need them to be the majority of the fans. We need that Carolina blue in the seats, no matter what the weather is, no matter what time the game is, because it matters. And that's helped us tremendously, and that's why we've been so good at home for sure.
Coach, what would you say, and I like asking this question to all you guys now that you've gone through a regular season and the ACC tournament, but what's the strength of this team at the end of the day, before we even get to the first pitch on Friday? If you had a chance to kind of prioritize your team, the number one answer on that would be what?
I think it's just I look at it as a threefold or twofold answer. Like you said it best, we have extremely talented pitching that have been in the strike zone, and they're athletic, and we can defend. So that gives pitchers even more confidence. And we have really good athleticism offensively. We're a different offense than we were last year, but we can pressure you in different ways. We got guys that can steal bases. We got guys that can bunt. We got some guys that can hit doubles and home runs. So I think 1 through 9, there's good pressure there where you can't just roll through the lineup. It's not just home run or nothing for us.
It felt like that last series of the regular season at Florida State, which felt more than just a regular season series, given what was at stake and the great race to end the regular season, really kind of set the tone for you guys when you got to Durham for the ACC tournament. Did I read that wrong, or was that spot on?
You're dead on. I felt like we've been tested all year, obviously, but, Florida State's a tough place to win at. So I was intrigued to see how we would handle it. The heat was on. It was 95 degrees every game. They had sellouts. They had a really good home field advantage. And I told our guys, hey, you showed me a lot, and that's how you have to play. You have to play aggressive with no fear of failure, and that's what they did. They walked in there, and they didn't look at the scoreboard. They played every single inning and every single out. And I told them, I said, that's how if you play like that the rest of the year, you know what? You got a chance for good things to happen.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I know earlier this week in the media you mentioned that this team reminds you of the 2018 team. What is it about that correlation with the 18 team and this year's squad?
I think with what we lost 3 first-rounders in 2017. Now the difference was in 17 we got knocked out of our own regional. Obviously this team's returning off an Omaha trip, but if you look at just the names we lost in Vance Honeycutt, Dalton Pence, Parks Harbor, Anthony D'Onofrio, Alberto Osuna, Colby Wilkerson, you name them. Casey Cook. I think people thought, okay, this is going to be a decent team. They've got some pitching, but they won't be close to what they were last year. But we had some pieces that played a lot last year, and then we had some older guys like Hunter Stokely and Jackson Vanderbrake that were coming back, and I felt good about. And our coaches do an unbelievable job recruiting and identifying the right fit for us off the transfer portal. And those guys have fit in really well. So it's a team like 18 that plays with an edge, like, hey, we have something to prove, because a lot of people just didn't think we were very good.
Well, I think you got a real shot at the whole deal. I really do. I love the way this team pitches, and like you said, you play great defense. You're peaking at the right time, and congratulations on that 9th ACC championship. Hosting again. Hopefully that Super Regional stays right there in Chapel Hill, and we'll see you in Omaha. But again, continued success, and always appreciate the time on the program.
Yeah, thanks a ton. Thanks for everything you do for baseball. It's ACC Network's been awesome to watch the recaps, and we're going to do our best. We'll get after it in this regional, that's for sure.
Rooting for you, Coach. Appreciate it very much, man. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, and congrats again. Enjoy it.
Appreciate that.